Okay, so I know nothing about Pokemon, and that's not really something I can fix for just one video, so I'm not going to fix it at all. While I might know nothing about Pokemon, I know about design, and I know how to judge things. So while I can't explain what Pokemon are the best to have to beat the Elite Four, I can tell you what Pokemon are the best to have the most aesthetically pleasing team. So first, I'm going to talk about my favorite and least favorite Pokemon designs to give you an idea of my taste in Pokemon. But I think it's harder to pick a favorite design overall because I don't know what every single design looks like. So there's nothing in my favorite spot that I'm not going to mention in this video. However, Castform is the worst of the worst design-wise. He's the weather Pokemon, so you'd think he's a cloud, but he's just a ghost with boobs. There are other cloud-like Pokemon and even cotton candy-looking Pokemon if they didn't want to fully commit to cloud. But no, they couldn't make him a cloud. They had to make him a ghost with big boobs, and I hate it. I can admit his other forms are really cute, but the original is just bad and shouldn't exist. So Castform is a 0 out of 10. I'm not going to go too into depth about all of the Pokemon and what's good or bad about their designs, but I will go into detail about a few of them, like the starters, legendaries, and the highest and lowest Pokemon from my original list, and some extras that I found interesting in one way or another. To start our starters, we have the grass Pokemon. Now, when I saw this cat for the first time, I thought two things. I love him, and they better keep this dude on all 4 feet. As you will come to find out, they made my boy bipedal. But the sins of Pokemon as a whole will not stop me from saying I love this cat. The colors in the normal form are very nice, and the cool colors in the shiny form are great. Again, I won't let the sins of Pokemon sway my opinion too much because Floragato looks pretty cool. However, they made the accent green way too dark and it doesn't work as well. I also don't like the shiny version for the same reason. The greens are too dark and they don't work well with this purple. I'm also not rocking with the little peppermint wheel on his shoulder. I know it's a flower, but my brain doesn't register it like that, and my point still stands. Meowscarda is so much better than Floragato. They made the dark green a main color instead of an accent color, and it just looks a lot better. I also love his hat and want it very bad. I also like his frilly sleeves and ear floof. Very good. Next in our starters, we have the fire starters. Now, Fuecoco, the adorable little crocodile pepper, faced some backlash. People were mad that he didn't follow the Chinese zodiac theming of the rest of fire starters, but he's just so cute. I love him and his dangly hands very much. Crocolore is amazing with his little suspenders and a hat with a little fire egg thing and these things that resemble marigold flowers. He also has buck teeth. He has a very good design, and he also has little gloves. Skeledirge looks cool, but less cool than its predecessors. While I don't like the white, I know it's supposed to mimic a sugar skull, but it doesn't look that good in my opinion. I also don't like the pink in the shiny version like I have with the two that came before him. Quaxwell is a very cute little duck with a little greaser haircut, and I like him a lot. The blue in the normal form is very cute, and the light aqua in the shiny design is also very cute. Now, Quaxwell is very cool, but to me he looks like an anime character, and I cannot for the life of me figure out who. He looks like a JoJo, but the more I look at him, he looks like another character, but I literally could not find who this stupid duck looks like. But he's still looks pretty cool. If I somehow find who I'm thinking of, I'll put them on screen, but other than the frustration and stress he's caused me, he's a pretty solid duck. Okay, so I was able to figure out who the character was, but it's actually two characters. My brain was mixing Guido Mista from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and also Speed Racer from the show Speed Racer, and created this image in my mind, and that's why I couldn't find who it was because there was no way to Google it, but I did finally find them, so yeah. Now, if you agreed with me that Quaxwell looked like a JoJo, get ready for Quaquavel. If Quaxwell was a JoJo, this fucker is a stand user. The pose, the look he's giving me, the colors of both designs, he's serving. With that being said, I clearly like Quaquavel a lot. Now, I kind of have a bit of a bone to pick with some Pokemon, specifically ones that look like man-made objects, like gears or a sword or a car engine, which we'll get into in a little bit, or motorcycles. There are 3 Pokemon from this region that look like motorcycles. Koraidon and Miraidon, the 2 legendaries, and Cyclizar, the mount Pokemon. God, I hate that. Even though I dislike Pokemon that look like man-made things, the legendaries for this region are really cool. Koraidon is a 9 out of 10, but Miraidon is a 10 out of 10 Pokemon for sure. Like, look at it. It's so elegant and cool. It looks like space. Miraidon is my favorite of the 2 legendaries and is why I'm probably going to get Violet in the near future, hopefully. Now, the Runus Pokemon are so fucking cool. They're all based off of different animals, like most Pokemon, but I just love their design so much. Tianpo, Tinglu, and Chiyu are all 9 out of 10s, but my personal favorite Runus Pokemon and one of my favorite Pokemon from the region is Wuqian, who is this snail-looking guy. Oh my god, he just looks so cool. According to the Pokemon Scarlet Pokedex, it is the grudge of a person punished for writing the king's evil deeds on a wooden tablet who has clad itself in dead leaves to become a Pokemon. Like, how fucking cool is that? In the Violet Pokedex, it says it drains the life force from vegetation, causing nearby forests to instantly wither and fields turn barren, which doesn't sound too good for local agriculture and wildlife, but what would you expect from the grudge of a mutinous man who became a creature that a bunch of 10-year-olds are going to try to throw Pokeballs at? Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the low-ranking Pokemon because I don't like them, but I'll try to explain a little as to why I don't like them as fast as I can. He looks like something Nickelodeon would animate in the 90s. He wouldn't be ranked so bad if this guy wasn't his pre-evolution. Look at this fucking nerd. Now look at this Fribo-looking guy. I don't like him. Bad, looks stupid, and not in a good way. I don't like him. Spidops also looks bad. I hate him and he stresses me out. He's also called the trap Pokemon, and I hate that even more. Rellor is a dung beetle that makes his little shitball out of mud and psychic energy. It also values its shitball more than its own life. You also can't paint this shitball gold and expect me to think it's better. It's still shit. Rabsca is the evolution of Rellor and is also bad, but I like its vibes ball and that the beetle in the shiny version is gold and not the shit ball. Still not very good though. Now, Varoom is a car engine, and it took me a second to understand why it's called the single-cell Pokemon. Its evolution, which I also don't like, is the multi-cell Pokemon, which means they're just a single-cylinder and multi-cylinder car engine. I don't like it. But it being a man-made object isn't really the problem with this one, because the Pokedex says a poison Pokemon crawled into the car engine and gave it life, so it gets a pass. Scovillian is 2 hot peppers, but the green pepper makes me uncomfortable, and that's literally it. Now, the Garganaci evolution line is so bad. I should just put the whole line at a 4 out of 10, but Garganaci is the worst. The whole line's 3D renders look so much like old school 3D Minecraft animation, and it makes me uncomfortable. Like the ones where everything was so smooth and they were somehow circles. I don't like any of them, but again, I like Garganaci the least. And they're all rock salt. Just a bad line. There are kind of a lot of Pokemon ranked at 9 out of 10, even after removing the ones I've already talked about and the ones I've yet to mention, so we're gonna go kind of fast on these ones too. I like Houndstone more than Graveyard, and I won't apologize for it. He's just so big, and I love the tombstone on his head. I also love how he looks more like a skeleton crocodile than a dog, and did it better than Skeledirge. I love the sassy ostrich with the Sia bob, but now that I'm looking at it again, it kind of looks more like Lady Gaga, and I like it a lot more now. It's still a 9 out of 10, but a very high 9 out of 10. Smoliv is very cute and small and anxious, and I love it. I'm also loving the Italian representation from Pokemon since they wanted to make Mario Chris fucking Pratt, but moving on. Dolliv is also just a really cute olive. Less anxious, but we love personal growth. I love this gross monkey and his drippy little middle finger, and I have absolutely nothing else to say about him. He just looks cool. He needs no name. His look should speak for himself. And hearing his name, you know exactly what he looks like. Moth, moth, moth. Again, just another one that looks cool. And I thought his name was Iron Juggalo at first because I can't read. I love this little cave woman. How couldn't you? Yet another Pokemon that just looks cool. The pre-evolution Charcadet looks kind of like they took Tekka from Moana and made her a bowling ball, but Armarouge just looks like a badass knight. Ceruledge is another Pokemon that evolves from Charcadet. If Armarouge was the knight, Ceruledge is also a knight, but she has cool tones and I like those more. Tinkatonk is the only 10 out of 10 left after taking away all of the 10 out of 10s I previously mentioned or have yet to mention. Tinkatonk is the final evolution in the Tinkatink line and is just so cool. They gave this very small girl a hammer bigger than her entire body, and to make things even better, she uses her hammer to hit rocks into the sky, aiming for flying Corviknight. Do not ship, they are enemies, Your Honor, and I love her. 5 out of 10 to 8 out of 10 were pretty much the rankings I gave to the ones that I liked but didn't really have much to say about, so here are some Pokemon that I do have a lot to say about. While Tadbulb was only ranked an 8 out of 10 and its evolution Bellibolt was ranked 9 out of 10, I gave the entire evolution line as a whole a 10 out of 10. Because while both Pokemon are very cute on their own, they just have the dumbest faces and I love them for it. And they don't exactly look like Pokemon. The same with Tandemaus and Maushold, which I'll get to in a moment. And also Glimlet and its evolution. They look like they shouldn't be Pokemon, but I refuse to say anything bad about them, so they get a pass. Pawmi was ranked at 7 out of 10 and its evolutions Pawmo and Pawmit were both 6 out of 10. While I can admit that they're cute and while looks is entirely what this video is based on, I did have an issue that Pawmi is an electric type and was also labeled as the mouse Pokemon. Now, while there is the Pikachu family with Pikachu, Raichu, Pichu, and even Togedemaru, this family also including Pawmi, Pichu isn't even labeled as a mouse Pokemon even though it's in Pikachu's evolution line. Now, Pawmi, who was just added to the Pokemon lineup, suddenly gets to be an electric mouse when the face of the company is already an electric mouse? I will not stand for it. Now, I don't really have a problem with Pawmo and Pawmit, but Pawmo gains fighting when it evolves, and that just kind of scares me. And then Pawmit, with its electricity and fighting, gets its name changed to the hands-on Pokemon, and that just makes me so uncomfortable. They also gave him Yu-Gi-Oh hair, and nobody deserves that. Flamigo was ranked at a 7 out of 10 because I like the shiny. However, Flamigo is just a flamingo. Parlafin is the evolution of Finizen, both ranked at a 9 out of 10. Finizen is adorable and Parlafin is even cuter with this very nice heart on its chest. But Parlafin has two forms. It's Zero form and it's Hero form. And I hate this thing. It looks more like a penguin, and it looks bad. I ranked the hero form separately and gave it a 5 out of 10 because it isn't that bad, but it is pretty bad with its stupid posture, boobs. We know how I feel about Pokemon with boobs, and the little condom gloves on its hands. Hercules was fine before he found Danny DeVito. Keep him a 0! While on the topic of uncreative designs with Flamigo, let's talk about Brambin and Brambleghast, both ranked at a 5 out of 10. They're just tumbleweeds, and that's pretty lazy, I'm sorry. However, they are ghost grass, and if you don't know, tumbleweeds are dead bushes that dry out and snap off of their stems, and that's why they roll around. And as they tumble, they drop seeds and spores that grow more bushes, which make more tumbleweeds. Tumbleweeds are also one of the leading spreaders of wildfires, so that's no fun. Now, there were plenty of redesigns of already beloved Pokemon in this region, but Wiglet and Wugtrio are my favorite. Even though Wiglet's name makes me uncomfortable and I feel like I shouldn't say it, Wiglet and Wugtrio both got a 6 out of 10 simply because, even though I love them, there's nothing new about them, except colors. Oh my god, when I saw these little fuckers. Tandemaus was our first 10 out of 10 Pokemon. Its evolution of Maushold was our first and only Pokemon that broke the scoring system at an 11 out of 10. These two mice, one of which is wearing a shirt while the other wears pants, are the cutest thing I've ever seen from Pokemon. Tandemaus sparked some cuteness aggression for me, and I felt like I could actually scream looking at them for the first time. Now, when Tandemaus evolves into Maushold, it'll evolve into a family of 3 or a family of 4. Are you serious? Cuteness aggression is a very real thing, people, and these Pokemon are known causes of extreme cases of cuteness aggression. Okay, to close, this region is full of a lot of cute Pokemon and some that are just ugly and dumb. But we shall never forget how bad Castform is, and how there is still no Pokemon that I hate more than this ghost with boobs. Now, please enjoy the scroll of all of the final scores of these Pokemon while looking at our beloved Tandemaus. Thank you guys for watching. I use cerebi.net to get the images of these Pokemon and the pokedex entries of these Pokemon that I reference from time to time. So I'll link that in the description. I don't really have much to say except thank you for watching, I guess. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you'd like to see from me next. I think I'm gonna try and do this like little animated style more, just so that I don't have to show my face as often. But yeah, let me know what you thought. Let me know if you agree with any of these, and I guess I'll catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.